New York, big city of dreams.
I'm coming straight out.
New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.
What's going on? This is Julius from Nick of Time Show. Here to give you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And you know what I'm here to do, right? Do you know what I'm here to do today? I'm here to be annoying, goddamn, because Frank Ntilikina almost caught a body. The Knicks win. We beat the Orlando Magic. Now, granted, you know, they're struggling. They're missing some players. They're kind of a lottery team right now, but I don't care because we were missing our own players, and we beat the Orlando Magic, and we're back to 500, 94-93. So you know what that means? If you're watching this show, it means I hit the gunshots, damn it. I hit the gunshots. Let's go. Let's go. Julius Randle with a triple-double, 18 points, 17 assists, 10 rebounds, and a steal. Alec Burks starts today, 21 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists. RJ Barrett, 17 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist in 41 minutes. Didn't really rest. Frank Ntilikina, 13 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block, and locked up some guy named Aaron Gordon, who's supposed to be like 5 feet taller than he is. I don't understand it. And Reggie Bullock hits you with 20 points, 3 assists, 3 steals, and 3 rebounds. We getting into this game. We gonna have some fun. Frank Hive, stand up. We still here. Knicks Hive, let's go. Everybody stand up, man. Knicks won the game. We are over 500. No, we're at 500. And we're going to talk about it, all right? So let's have some fun tonight. But before we get into the game, let me introduce my guys first and foremost. We already have, if you are a long-standing KOT follower, you already know who this guy is. And also, you know, if you're on the Knicks Twitter and you're just on YouTube, perusing through the Knicks YouTube streets, you already know who this guy is as well. It is my guy, Terry, from NYK, Terry and Trey.
Frank Hive, we back. I'm back. What's up? Thanks for having me. Glad to be here, guys.
Absolutely.
Got a good win last night. We needed it, so let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. And of course, you already know who this guy is as well. It is the man, the myth, the legend, the guy with the stats and the facts.
Ryan G is in the building. Glad to be back. Was on a little hiatus, but I'm back.
Mm-hmm. Damn right he's in this building, all right? And let me know how's the sound, because some people saying, yo, your sound is a little low, J. Ellis. If the sound is good, hit me with the 1. If it's not good, hit me with the 2, and we'll get this thing started, all right? Sound, check 1, check 2, check 3. I already know the Frank Hive is ready. I already know the Frank sound is working correctly. I already know that. I already know that's working. All right, now let's get into it. Let's get into it, Terry. So we started off the game with a surprise starter, right? Because we've been starting with, of course we know Frank Ntilikina is starting. There's no Emmanuel Quickly. There's no Derrick Rose. Frank Ntilikina is starting. The last time he started, he was taken out quickly because he wasn't performing well. So, people were really nervous. They were kind of nervous about his starting. But also people were surprised that Alec Burks started alongside of him. So, to start off this conversation, what did you think of this weird starting lineup that Tom Thibodeau just trotted out at the last minute with like an hour before the game?
Yeah. Listen, it worked. I think he basically saw Frank was just in a hole for a couple of games, just struggling, looking really uncomfortable out there. I was actually pretty disappointed because the entire time I'm thinking Frank last year around this time, around January, February, March, who he was looking like as a backup point guard was way better than what he was looking like, since the All-Star break.
Absolutely.
So he's looking out there he looked worse than rookie year sometimes, right? He just didn't look comfortable. So I feel like what's happened, he's probably been playing off ball so much at this point. Like Tim's probably, before these injuries wasn't getting any PG reps. Mm-hmm. And a guy like Frank probably needs to feel more warm because I'm like, he looks like he's never played a position before.
No, you're right.
That's why Burks comes in, right? I think he just noticed he need another ball handler out there. We saw in, I think the game before that, where we had that little run where we've been down like 14-2 against Philly.
Right.
When Frank was out there. I don't think it was all Frank or anything, but I think he just noticed Frank needs some help. The ball handling department, the shot creation department, having Burks out there, having Frank and Burks share those duties, and RJ as well. It's perfect with Reggie. It's kind of Reggie's not going to do much, right? Reggie's either going to take the shot or he's going to try to drive in and then realize he's not going to go in.
Exactly.
So, it's two things going to happen. So I liked it. It's an adjustment. And it's deeper thinking, which I think is something we've been doing all season long.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Frank was struggling at point guard. Now there were big calls for Jared Harper, and I'll admit it would have been cool to see Harper too.
I
But
didn't think it was gonna
instead
happen.
of
To be
just-
honest with you, I didn't
Yeah,
think it was
I
gonna
mean,
happen.
You're right. You're right. I didn't like think it was gonna happen either, but I could get where it was coming from. But the easy thing is to think, oh, Frank isn't playing well, just swamp in Harper. Tibbs thinks about around it. He says, look, Frank is giving us something on defense, right? Maybe he needs a little bit of help there. Maybe we stagger the minutes. You see, Tibbs has gotten a lot better with staggering recently, having RJ with the bench, moving things around. So good move. It worked. We got to see what happens on Sunday because hopefully Rose is back because we definitely need him. But listen, the NBA season's long. It's long. You don't look
Yeah.
back at these wins in March like, man, whatever. I'm so pissed we didn't play that well. Like, you just got to get through it. We're missing like, 4 or 5 guys? Good. Let's keep it going.
No, I agree with you there. I definitely agree with you there. Any thoughts on that, Ryan? And the starting lineup of the New York Knicks with Frank and Alec Burks starting in the backcourt to start the game.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Terry for the most part. Like, when I first saw the lineup, I was like, I like the changes. Like, I pretty much understood it the same way. Frank has been, he's kind of been struggling on offense lately and struggling with running the points. So, having Burks out there, who's an extra ball handler, would make life easy on Frank. And also, I like the fact that it seems like Thibs is finally listening to me because I did mention a few episodes back that if you're gonna have Frank running the point guard, like you can't expect him to play like Rose, where players are gonna be stationary, then Rose is gonna play make and get guys open shots. Like with Frank, there has to be movement on the offensive end for it to work, and there was definitely off-ball movement this game, which is what I liked. And but I have to admit though, because early in the game when they came out with that lineup, you definitely saw the defense was struggling a little bit. Because,
You read my mind. My mind.
Yeah, and specifically Burks, because I saw Burks was struggling to get out on the 3-point shooters, and I think Thibs saw that, and that's why he called time and put in Bullock.
Yep.
Because Bullock is a better defender, and he'll get out on the shooters, and then once he made that switch, that's when the Knicks started to come back. So
Yep.
yeah, so I understand Thibs thinking, and before the game started, I was with it, but then when I saw them actually playing, I was like, I don't know about this lineup. And I was like, and put Bullock back in.
You read my mind because I was going to point out that before, in the beginning of the season, guys, we were all looking at Reggie Bullock bricking these threes, and we were all thinking, man, what if we just started Alec Burks? Because Alec Burks is a flamethrower. Now, Alec Burks has been up and down, but recently he's been more up and down, right?
Yeah.
Yesterday, Alec Burks comes out. He leads our team in scoring in the first half, 14 points in the first half. Julius Randle had like 5 or 7 assists in the first quarter. Most of those were to Alec Burks himself. And even with him being the flamethrower, we were still down 10 points in the first quarter. And then and it makes you appreciate what Reggie Bullock does, and it makes you think about when Tom Thibodeau goes, Reggie Bullock is just so underrated, man. He's one of the most underrated players on the team. Because as soon as Reggie Bullock gets back in the game, it seems like there's a switch that happens. And I'm even harking back to a play before, like a few games before, when Frank got like a game-sealing steal, and it was like a pick and roll between Frank and Reggie Bullock. And everybody's praising Frank, rightfully so, if we got the steal. But then I heard the next day that Reggie Bullock is the one directing traffic. He was like, yo, I stay here. Frank, stay up there, stay on your man and switch, and he able to get the steal. So I feel like what you're seeing when Reggie Bullock is off the floor is things that you don't see with your eyes, but you would have to be on the court on the arena to see. He's kind of like directing. I think he's directing traffic as a shooting guard, and that's probably why our overall team defense is better when Reggie Bullock is on the floor, and why Tom Thibodeau is just so in love with him, just in general. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I don't even think, say Derrick Rose isn't back, I would bet money that Reggie Bullock is back in the starting lineup versus the 76ers because of what we saw. You know what I mean? That would be my guess. Just a guess. Just a guess.
I feel like it comes down to if another point guard is back at all, right? Not even which one it is, right? Because we're currently in the situation where Frank is really the only point guard and Burks as well. So I think his rotation in his mind, right? It's like this whole thing where Frank and Burks are gonna play together. Maybe one leaves early, we switch it out, we figure out the minutes. But if a full PG's back, even if he doesn't start, right? Maybe Tibbs keeps with Frank, right? And because we need the bench scoring with quickly. So, maybe we go with that. But I want to say
back too.
Yeah, exactly. Spot on about Reggie Bullock, man. He has been killing it. 44% from deep since the All-Star break. They have. I gotta give this guy props. I've said before, like, we need to upgrade that position. And it's not that I want Bullock off the team. It's that when you think of what we're gonna be as a great team, hopefully sometime soon, right? You would need more scoring, more defense, more everything there. But Reggie's a guy that I could see on the bench for us for years when we're good, sticking with us. He's a team guy.
Yep.
You see how they rallied around him. He's been through so much as well. That was so beautiful yesterday, man, to see him after that clutch play get the praise, get the post-game interview.
Yeah.
He deserves it.
He deserves it because
Yeah, most definitely.
I definitely been critical of him and his lack of scoring in the second half because he always seems to be like the first half superhero. Right? He's like, oh, Reggie Bullock, he's going in for 3 for the first 2 quarters. And then the third and fourth quarter, he disappears. And then usually in the fourth quarter, he causes a turnover, and that costs us the game. But yesterday, he did have a turnover at the end of the game.
Bruh.
But he did
He made up for it. He made up for it.
He made up for it. He made up for it. And that's all you can ask for. He hit a clutch 3. He hit a clutch 3. And he also made like the game-saving defensive play, stealing the ball from Fournier and passing it to Alec Burks, and we was able to get the win. So kudos to Reggie Bullock, who's on, he's playing well, and 6 from 13 from 3 as well. So shout out to Reggie Bullock, man, you doing it.
Facts. I have a change request though.
What's that?
Because when we had the report card episode when we were grading players and I rated and I gave Bullock a C plus. Can I go back and give him a B minus?
Oh, you B minus? I don't know. Grades are final.
I want to give him a B minus.
Did the parent write in at the last minute and curse you out? That's usually what happens. I don't know if any guys are teachers, but when the parent-teacher conference happens, my son deserves better.
There was a little error in my grading. I went back and checked it.
Okay.
And I was like, and then when I aggregated everything together, I was like, oh snap! You know what? He's a B minus. I made a mistake.
All right.
I want to raise the GPA.
All right, bruh for you, Ryan, for changing your grade then.
Listen, I want to say this. I'm glad you brought up his defense too, and I think his defense is getting praised now. That comeback against the Nets, right? That Reggie Frank backcourt. Curtis, don't get me wrong. Harden and Kyrie still got their butt, but they changed the game with the defense.
Yes.
You just saw basically Kyrie and Harden going one-on-one, back to back, and Frank and Reggie just kept switching, kept making it work, frustrated them enough. We got a little bit of a run going, so we're gonna see more of that. But shout out to Reggie Bullock. His defense is shooting right now. Yeah, what more could you want?
Yeah, what more can you want? For sure, what more can you want? And we're going to pose a conversation right there while I recognize the chat because Super Chats came in early. Yo, thanks, guys. And y'all popping in the chat right now. The Frank Hive is here. Let's go. This is the after party. Frank Hive relit. Grab your beers, grab your snacks. We celebrating the Frank Hive. We're going to get into more Frank talk as well, of course. We're going to talk about the whole team, though. Because, Julius Randle did score a triple-double. And it was kind of a big deal, so we're going to talk about it as well, all right? But salute to the chat. Salute to the chat. First of all, let me hit these super chats real quick. Shout out to Junior Corona, who says a $4.99 super chat says Frank Hive, we lit. Yo, shout out to you, Junior Corona, always supporting over here. Also, shout out to SND1129. Who says Frank Hive in the building. Yo, Frank Hive is representing tonight. Shout out to you as well. Also shout out to Robert Paris. He sends a $4.99 super chat. Says team is increasingly a reflection of Tibbs' tough mind. I agree with you, man. Definitely agree with you. We have the grit this year, a grit that we haven't had in so many years, and that's big shout out to Tom Thibodeau, Kenny Payne. Kenny Payne, don't leave us, man. Don't do it, man. Listen, I'm calling all Knicks fans. We need all your energy. I'm doing a Goku Dragon Ball Z style. Use all your energy, put it together so we can use that energy to keep Kenny Payne in New York. Super chats are all going to Kenny Payne. Give him a raise. Give him free pizza.
And that's what I'm saying. Don't got enough money. Give that man a raise.
Yo, open your
Yeah.
purse, man.
Yo, I hate to stop a man getting a job, but come on.
Nah.
Dolan, open it up. Open it up. Open it up.
Yeah. I have some
go.
recommendations. Yeah, Mike Miller is available. Try Mike. Mike is a good developer. Try him. I'm just saying. Mike Miller. I like that guy. Right? Cool.
It's too soon. Yeah, I need Kenny Payne for 2 more seasons, man.
Serious,
Yeah,
man.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
he has some development to do. He needs Obi
Yeah,
for
man.
a summer. That's
For
what
real.
he needs.
Especially after this draft class coming in this year.
Ooh,
Oh hell yeah! I need it for like one, 2 more seasons.
we need that. We need that.
Word.
We need a Kenny Payne super chat going tonight.
Facts. All super chats monies is going to Kenny Payne. All right.
The only KP we recognize.
Only KP we recognize,
Word.
man. For real. Oh man. So salute to y'all. Salute to y'all. You know what? And let's get into this. Let's get into Randle too. Let's get more into Randle because Randle, he's given us 18 points. He didn't shoot well. Only 8 of 20, 40% from the field, 20% from three, but gives you 10 rebounds and 17 assists and a steal. And it's funny, Ryan, because when we first talked about Frank and what my envision when he was starting, like if Frank started, RJ had to be more of the ball handler and more of the distributor. But what happened yesterday was Randle was the distributor yesterday.
Yep.
Like the offense was completely going through Randle, whether it was the double teams, which we've seen before, the double teams and the kickouts, whether it's his 3-point shooting was opening up space for cutters. He had like a nice pass where they almost kind of RJ he was moving without the ball through the middle of the lane, and Randle gave him a nice little pass for a nice little open layup, which was pretty dope. Or just and also for Alec Burks, who was making these little passes going to the lane and getting layups. It seems like no matter what we do, for Frank to work in the starting line, we need another playmaker because he's just not comfortable yet. So even if it's not, I think we can get away with Reggie Bullock starting if we start to playmate more through Randle and just playmate by committee. Yeah. That's it. That's my spiel. But Randle did his
Yeah.
Randle did his thing though. Randle did his thing. He put the team on his back. I was surprised that at the end of the bench, right? The bench is still a thing of contention because at the end of the game, the Knicks were up. And Randle sat for a grand total of 2 minutes. Now, the bench kind of blew the lead before. But the Tom Thibodeau, he tried something different this time. This time, he had R.J. Barrett with the bench this time. Along with Toppin. Along with Bullock. To see if we can, close out the game with kind of staggered minutes. With some staggered starters.
Mm-hmm.
And it still didn't quite work.
Nope.
It still didn't quite work. So, shout out to you guys who tell me about the volume. I'll keep that in mind. So, is there any concerns with that moving forward about the lack of bench and just Randle being tired? Because even yesterday he only hit 2 shots at the end of the fourth quarter. 2 more than he did the game before.
Yeah. I don't see the bench as a concern because it's just injuries. Like once Rose quickly comes back, I think that'll fortify the bench because you'll have Quickly coming off the bench. Rose are going to be moved to the starting lineup. And then on top of that, Payne comes back too. That's another player right there they can use, whether it's in starting lineup or off the bench. So I just feel like the Knicks bench is still intact. It's just a matter of the injuries hitting the Knicks hard at the moment, and the Knicks don't really have much to go to. And then, if you're moving players like Burks into the starting lineup and things like that, it's less scoring coming off the bench. So I think the Knicks will be fine when it comes to bench production. It's just a matter of getting players back healthy.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Thoughts on that, Terry?
Yeah, same thing. I mean, like I said, the season's a war. The season's so long. You just got to get through it, especially this season with COVID, the protocols, the schedule. So the fact that we're fighting through this, I mean, we've been missing Mitch for so long at this point, right? And it's become, we almost like, I don't think we forgot about Mitch, but it's crazy how we just adjusted and we don't go into games like panicking because Mitch isn't here. I mean, also tribute to Nerlens Noel because he's doing all he can, and Taj Gibson is giving us some good minutes too.
Yeah, Taj
right?
gave you
But
30 minutes last night.
yeah,
like, that's
listen,
crazy.
so next man up, right? So my thing with the benches, in a weird way, I'm like, the fact that we're getting through this during the hardest part of our schedule, and to be fair, we lost both the Nets and Bucks game, and we got the
But we's in it.
I mean, we got the 76ers coming up. So like, you know what I mean? We'll see. But we're fighting through the toughest part of the schedule, down so many guys. I wanted to see if this team was really real or not, you know, after the All-Star break. And I could tell you, even obviously our record's losing since then, I now believe in this team so much more because I'm seeing us down 3-4 guys fighting against the Nets in the fourth quarter.
Toe-to-toe.
Coming down to like a controversial call. Coming down to the wire against the 76ers. Like these are elite teams. We have no business being in these games, right? So to me, the fact that we're in these games means Tibbs is getting the baseline level of performance so high for us. Think of the Bulls teams, right? Remember that playoffs? They just had guys dropping like flies. It didn't matter. The next guy came in and balled out. It was when Nate Robinson was going crazy for them. So like Tibbs coach teams can just fight through things. So the fact that, you know, Rose, Quickly, and Mitch, three main guys, we'll see what happens with Payton overall. But the fact that those three guys are coming back to play major rotation minutes, and in a weird way, Mitch got a rest on his legs. You know what I mean? You're ready for the last part of the season. Even Rose, obviously, I'm hoping, you know, he's fine from COVID, doesn't suffer effects, because I know Jason Tatum has said he's been feeling it. But Rose, his legs got like a nice little rest. And even Quickly, I know Tim said it was just a precaution, so I'm not too worried about that. So we gotta. It's exciting to think what our bench could be once these guys get in and get locked in for April, May, and beyond.
Yeah, no, yeah. I feel you. You're right about that, and you know what too, I would like some important pieces on the bench to be developed a little bit more. I don't think Obi Toppin is not going to be Obi Toppin's year this year, because you know. It just seems like it's not. If Obi can give us 15 to 20 strong minutes, I think that would solve a lot of our problems, and Julius Randle would be a lot healthier and a lot more refreshed going towards these end of game situations, because you do see the difference from the first two quarters to the third and fourth quarter, and his legs, his concentration, his turnover rate, pretty much everything with Randle. So that would save us some headache, but. You know what? The good part of these types of games where it's the next man up situation is those guys who don't get minutes, they get more defined roles. And Tom Thibodeau gets to figure out what they're made of now. And I'm gonna go to bat to I'm gonna head it back to Frank. I'm heading back to Frank right now because this is the Frank Hive. This is the Frank Hive pod right now. Like this to me, like this is the first time that Frank has gotten to play through a slump in his whole career. We've seen RJ be able to do it. We've seen Knox be able to play through slumps. This is the first time he's ever been able to play through a slump, and it's a big deal the way he busted through the slump today. Because it's a blessing you don't want to see people injured, like you don't want to see Quickly injured and stuff, but it was really a blessing in disguise because something like this can yield confidence. He missed 16 straight shots in the last 4 games before he hit that shot in the fourth quarter, and the shots he made led to the game being broken open. That led to that 16-point lead. It was like he hit a shot, then I think Bullock hit a 3, then RJ hit a 3, and all of a sudden it's a 16-point lead, and the Knicks are off to the races, and it's like, okay, the Prince is going on. Like now we see it. It's not just locking down big goons like Eric Gordon one-on-one. Now he can hit shots too. And then also at the end of the game too, when the Knicks, we lost the lead. We were down by 5. And we needed a big shot. Frank gets back in the game. He hits a clutch 3 to puts us up by 1. That helps break the momentum and steal the game. So like a game like this is so big for the overall confidence of Frank. I'm hoping that just the knowledge that, you know what, I see what it is to bust through a slump and see what it is for a coach to stick with me. If he's here past the deadline, I hope that carries over, you know, because the deadline is Thursday and anything can happen. But you really just hope that carries over, and he can be an asset now. He might be more of an asset now that, you know, maybe he can get some confidence up, because we all know that confidence for Frank was always the biggest problem. It wasn't really the skills. Like, I mean, it was skills. He did, you know, my bad. Let me rephrase that. The shooting, you know, the left hand wasn't there. The athleticism had to catch up. The aggressiveness had to catch up. But now that all that he's been practicing in the offseason is really all in the head. And once he unlocks that one part, he can be a serviceable player in the NBA.
Yeah. Listen, I'm telling you, Frank not proved himself fully, but from what I saw last season, right, from about, you know, February last season on, I feel like he's already taken a step up. Obviously, we're not seeing it game to game. That's the next part, consistency. Yeah. But you know, look at last year with those Dallas games he had, right? And just like he was winning some games last year on both ends, playing great in the clutch. So I saw a jump up from him last season even. So I'm like, this should just carry over. The thing with him is, and how his offensive profile breaks down, is he misses 16 shots. Because he doesn't shoot enough in an individual game, his slump can last multiple games. Whereas a guy like RJ Barrett might go 0 for 5, 0 for 6. Right. By the end, the game is over. Maybe he goes 7 for 20 or something, right? Right. I'm looking at Frank's game: 0 for 3, 0 for 1, 0 for 5, and then 0 for 4. Yeah, because he has to shoot it. Someone has to tell him to shoot the ball. Exactly, and he's got to get to the rim, right? That's the thing. In games like this, and I hope this is the next step for him offensively, Frank does not need to be some big offensive weapon for us, right? We have better offensive players. He's got to find his role and hit open shots. But just in his own development as a player, he's got to look at these games where he bricks the first 2-3 jumpers. Just go to the rim no matter what. See what happens. Get to the line. Seeing the ball go through the rim is so important to a shooter. Frank, he missed the first free throw and hit the second, and that was his first point in those, you know, the last 4 games. And then from there he hit the 3, and then the other 3, and then the dunk. It all came from that. So he's gotta not be comfortable with going 0 for anything. Yeah. Right? He's got it like in himself. That's how most of these guys who are just more offensive, that's what they think like.
They don't care. They don't care. I can't have a 0. IQ don't care.
Yeah, exactly. I can't have a 0. So, and the thing is with Frank, right? I know people say Frank Hive, he gets so much more defense than other people. It's because he has a skill that is actually elite. Even if you don't think it's elite fully, it's going to be elite very soon. Most these crazy defenders aren't nearly as good or this cerebral about defending at 22, right? Exactly. So for me, it's like if Knox had a skill that made him valuable in the last minute of the game, or Obi had a skill, they would get the same kind of support. Exactly. Thing is with Frank, and that's why I love that Tibbs stuck with him and kept bringing up his defense while he was having the slump. The whole way through, he kept talking about it, right? The next game, Frank fouled out, 16 minutes, 6 fouls. Tibbs was straight up like, yeah, but his defense. Yep. And for me, you know, you think of coaches and young players, right? Usually you bench the young player when they're doing BS on offense, right? They're not playing within themselves. They're chucking up shots. You know what I mean? They're not playing smart. But if a guy's playing defense, you usually reward them no matter what, because they're doing what they're supposed to do, right? Obviously, you know, you can't lose a game just because you got one defender out there. But for the concept that I'm talking about, I'm just glad that Tibbs stuck by Frank through that. And Knox and Obi, they're not on the court because they're not sticking to their position. They're not matching up with their position. And when they get out there, unfortunately, they're breaking the game for us. You know? Yeah. And it's sad because I want to see these guys pop off, but I understand why Tibbs isn't playing them that much.
I get it too. Yeah. I'll give Toppin some bail later, but go ahead, Ryan. I know, it look like you want to say something.
Yeah, because you know, because I haven't been on the last couple episodes, so I feel like I have a lot to say about Frank right now.
Oh, okay, all right. Say it with your chest, because I know you had to smoke the game before. I know you had to smoke the game before. I wonder if your take has changed since that game. I'm just waiting.
All right, so I'll say this: Frank's defense is always valuable. That's the reason why I like Frank. His defense. But I have to admit, I was on the brink of being like he deserved to be benched after that Philly game, because to me it was like when he went up for shots, there was no confidence whatsoever, and he shot like 2 air balls. Even though I agree even though I have to admit, I think two of the shots he took against the Sixers,
They were kind of in and out.
it was like late in the shot clock, and that's not his game. Like you can't expect Frank to create and get a shot for himself when the shot clock is running out. So I admit a couple of the shots he took in the Sixers game, it was due to like late in the shot clock,
Right.
bad shot, but it was just like he showed no confidence in offense, and then he got to a point where it's like, okay, you can play great defense so much, but the Knicks are down so many players, like you have to give us something on offense. So I admit I was like this close to benching him after that Philly game because I was like because I was like, yo, Frank is out there looking like a brand name Michael Kidd Gilchrist.
Nah, come.
Whose
man's is? You went there. You went there after the summer we had. After the summer we had, we went there, Ryan. Are you kidding me?
And the only reason I ain't call him great value is because he plays better defense than Michael Kidd Gilchrist. Michael Kidd Gilchrist is a great value version of Michael Kidd Gilchrist. So,
yo, I can't with you.
But this game, I saw the confidence come back, even though he missed and he was wide open. He still took the shot. He kept going until he finally hit a shot.
Right.
That brought back his confidence. And then when he went up on Vucevic, I was like, Frank should have usually he needs to learn how to finish.
Yo,
learn how to finish.
Are you serious? He needs to learn. He got an and one, and you talking about he has to learn how to.
That and one was by
Are
luck.
you serious, Ryan?
That and one was by luck. He should have banged it on him. All right, that should have been. It should have been.
Yo, whose man's is this, man? Are you serious?
It should have been a complete bang. All right, but I'll take the and one though.
I'll take the and one. Like it's a consolation prize. Yeah, I'll take 3 points. Yes.
But all I'm trying to say is that, like, look, I don't expect much from Frank. As long as he's giving me that great defense and can knock down a couple of shots, that's all I need because his defense will make up for what he doesn't give on offense. But those 4 games are so straight where it was like 0-0-0-0. I was like, nah, this is unacceptable. But I'm glad he broke out of the slump and now I'm back on the Frank train. Frank derailed me for a second, but I'm back to the train now.
Yo, listen. Don't get off that damn train again.
I'll say this, Ryan. No, let me say this. I agree fully, man. Everybody knows I'm a big Frank guy.
Yeah. I'm
watching him those 4 games, and I remember I was watching these games thinking, this is not the guy that I like, that I think is a dope player.
Right.
Because the guy that I know is a dope player, and I think could be something for the Knicks long term. He doesn't look like that on offense.
No, he doesn't.
Right? And Frank, I actually think that was the worst I saw him on offense his entire career.
It is.
And that's why I was kind of like, all right, this isn't him, right? And I know a lot of people have been like, he's bad on offense. How could you say it's not him? He's always bad on offense. I'm like, no. Frank is inconsistent with offense, but he's never just like, he gets in these slumps. I mean, this is clearly a different slump to who he was before. You can't tell me who he was during those 4 games is his regular performance. He wouldn't be in the NBA if that was the case. So I'm watching these games, but I'm also like, yo, bro, we always talk about, getting a chance here developing. Everyone is out right now.
This is your
There's
time.
no one else.
This is your time. Step up. The roadway is clear. You're not injured. Go.
Exactly. And I'm like, yo, Tibbs likes you a lot. He's begging for you to make a couple of shots so you can stay out there. He's begging for you to do it. He wants to justify keeping you in there, right? That game he started and came out after like 7 minutes, then came back at the end after the blowout. Tibbs is hoping Frank is solid enough that he just plays good minutes as a starter, quickly can come in and score. So these games, I was pissed off too, man, because I'm like, yo, Frank, I've seen you play so much better than this, and you're out here slipping up on prime time right now, bro. So I'm glad he got out of it. Because I know it's a slump, and usually he has like one of these slumps every season, man, and then he gets out of it and finishes the season well. So,
but there's usually 3 point guards ahead of him at the time, and all of them are injured right now. So that's why it was more important for him to bust out of it yesterday than any other time, because that might have been his last shot to bust out of it.
Oh, yeah.
That might have been his last shot, and if he didn't bust out of it yesterday, when Elf and Rose and Emmanuel come back, you're gonna be back to just straight up spot minutes, if anything. End of clock situational minutes, 3 minutes at a time, like and that'll be that. But knowing that he can hit shots is a big deal, and it was also pretty interesting to see that Ian Begley reported that Tom Thibodeau bigs him up behind the scenes, not even just on camera, and says that he feels like Frank could be a good piece going forward. Like seemingly like with the Knicks past today. Now it's gonna be interesting to see how that translates with the front office, knowing that Thursday's a trade deadline. I don't expect Austin Rivers to be here. Frank was always a guy who I thought was gonna be on the fence, or I thought was just gonna be gone because he just wasn't getting minutes. So I'm interested to see like how they play it out, because if he's staying before if he makes the trade deadline, then that's an indicator that they want to resign him, because he if they don't want to move him, they're not going to leave him. They're not going to want to lose him for nothing. So if you see him past Thursday, then Frank Hive might still alive, and if he's gone after Thursday, then Frank Hive might be moving to whoever team he's leaving.
Yo, real quick, I just thought about this with Rivers. I don't want to jump ahead because I know we're still talking about Frank and the re-signing.
No, we can.
You think we're about to trade Rivers, who just had a kid? I just thought of that.
Yes.
I mean, no. Here's my thing. I'm like, yeah, obviously, like he's been off the team, but I'm just thinking from a like his woman just had a baby like last week.
Yo, I was thinking about how messed up it is that. Yeah. Do you remember when
you gotta realize the NBA does not care, all right?
Nah,
the NBA don't care. Your girl just had a baby, but at the end of the day, like, we want to move you, so we gonna move you. Like, that's the NBA. That's sports in general.
No, I feel you though. I feel you, but just the fact. Remember back when Austin Rivers had that big game, and he posted on social media that he was going to the park right after the road trip, and his girl was tight. That she didn't spend time with her. Now it's putting it even more in perspective. Like, wait, she's tight and she was pregnant.
That's the slogan for the show now.
Yeah, and she was pregnant and left her home to poop, and then we might trade him after that. That's kind of crazy, but
yeah,
I don't see
on the Frank thing real quick about him like re-signing or whatever. I mean, I feel and the Tibbs, the Begley report.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Tibbs is looking at this guy. He met him. He saw him. After like 2 months, he realized, wow, this guy just does anything I tell him.
He listens to me. Yeah.
Listen, if you look at Frank's profile, you still see, because of his wingspan, if he can just get some regular baseline performance on offense, he is so crazy valuable. Mm-hmm. Like, he's legitimately defending fours in the post. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to find this highlight. I've been looking for it. But about 2 years ago, last year, Julius was in New Orleans. Frank was matched up against Randle in the post, 3 or 4 possessions. It just happened on a switch, and Randle couldn't score on him. I'm telling you, it exists. This is not some Frank.
You're right.
So the thing is, for me, it's like a guy that can play these 4 positions, right? He plays defense well, and he's such a good team defender that he makes the other defenders around him better because he's always hedging, always covering for guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and his wingspan, like, this is a player you can get. It's a very valuable potential player, and I feel like the Knicks put in these 4 years, and it's been up and down. I still feel like we lost 2 seasons, that injury he had, and then COVID. And I definitely think if even COVID didn't happen, I think he would have been, because he was already looking so much better.
Yeah, the 2010 game last season.
Yeah, so I'm like, and look, I'm on the Hive. I know I'm on the Hive, and in my head, I'm like, get this guy back on like a 2-year deal, get an option in there.
Exactly.
2 years with an option. See what you have. Sign him for under like $9 million. Sign him for $7 million, 2 years. Something like that.
Yeah, something manageable. I feel you.
Whatever it is, right? Keep him around, because these are the kind of guys that are on winning teams. But I still think every now and then you see those flashes, and you're like, yo, could this guy, this kid, if he just gets it, do way more? He just does.
And I think he can, man.
Yeah, I think he can, but I feel like it's worth the investment. But I'm a super Hive member out here.
I know, that's why I had to hit you up yesterday. It was like, yo, I need the Hive. I need the Hive to unite. I need you on the show tomorrow, Terry. Let's roll.
The Hive unity.
Exactly.
I do have one more thing to say about Frank, though.
Oh, here we go.
He did have this one possession where I thought he played great defense, because I felt like there was this one possession where he covered like 3 guys on Orlando, and like the same.
He does that every game.
The same possession. I'm like, yo, this dude is crazy on defense. I was like, yo, anyhow he gets some type of offensive game, there's no way you benching him. You can't bench him.
He does,
because the way he plays defense is crazy.
He does that once a game.
He's literally like a game-breaking free safety. right?
Yeah.
Where you, like, don't throw the ball away.
Exactly.
Like him just be he cares so much. That's the thing about it, right? It's not even like schemes. It's like he just cares so much about helping on defense, right? So you watch him, he's always looking like, hey, look, can I stick my hand in here for half a second, even if there's like a 10% chance it's going to affect the shot? Can I help Julius a little bit that way? Can I help this guy here? Can I delay a little bit and then try to cover two guys? He just does this naturally. And I'm like, you put him out there, and I'm just watching him buzzing around the court.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's helping. I'm like, how valuable is this stuff? Once you got another big scorer next to Julius, once the bench is way better, you got elite shooters around, and you just get him doing that.
Yeah.
So I want to see a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And one last thing.
One last thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, one last thing. Yeah. You see the way Frank was locking up Aaron Gordon?
Yep. Ooh. He was in jail.
You see?
He was in jail.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is why I said he's the brand name Michael Kidd Gilchrist. Not anymore, but the previous 4 games.
Yo, the disrespect is real, man.
Yo,
shut your mouth, all right?
You know why, though? Because the last time I see Michael Kidd Gilchrist play, and that was for Dallas, he was guarding big men, he was getting schooled. He was getting sunned. And Frank actually plays against big men, and they can't score on them. So that's the only reason I called him the brand name Michael Kidd Gilchrist. I'm just throwing it out there, but he's not that no more though.
Yo,
After last night's game,
man.
he's not that no more though. I'm done.
All I have to say is Dallas had a stat last year that he told me. He was talking about Frank's defensive numbers against power forwards. I don't know it off top, but it was something crazy about how many times he was switched on power forwards and actually stopped them on one-on-one defense post-up moves. So Dallas, if you're ever listening, let me know the stats, because I know it's crazy still. But yeah, it's not a fluke. He can stop. He can really play 1 through 4. It's crazy. All right, Frank Love out the system. Frank Love is out the system. We gave him all the love today. All right, but still hitting the music one time for the Frank Hive. All right, shout out to you guys. I know it's mostly Frank Hive watching at this point. All right.
Everyone else is like, nah.
Everyone's like, I'm out. I'm out. But let's go to the super chats real quick. Shout out to Michael Parker. Says salute to the chat. Salute to the panel. The Frank Hive lives. Yes, gunshots. Let's go. Frank Hive represent. Let's go. I'm with it. Shout out to the Ayo Powell sends a $5 super chat as well. He just wanted to support. So shout out to you, Ayo Powell.
All right.
Oh wait. No, never mind. I do see. Wait, okay, there's a message. Okay, here's the message. Wait, I see it. Salute KOT. Question for the panel. Which players y'all think won't be here during the deadline or even when player is gone first? Chemistry is A1. Which player won't be here during the deadline? We just kind of mentioned that.
Yeah, actually. Austin Rivers.
I think Austin Rivers is as good as gone. He hasn't really been in the team in a long time. I mean, it could also be, he has a pregnant significant other. That kind of have a lot to do with it as well. But I do think that he probably came here with the intention of playing. And now that he's not, and there's Derrick Rose here, I don't think he's a guy who wants to be here with that role. And you know what, too? There's probably people still out there who feel like he can play. Because, he did drop like 50 in the bubble just last season. So I'm pretty sure a veteran team is going to go after him at some point. Right?
Yeah, I agree.
Cool.
Yeah, Rivers. I said it. I brought up he just had a kid and stuff. But yeah, he's been out for a while. It's clearly not working. And he can play. It just didn't work out here. I think he'll end up somewhere else and probably be okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I also say Frank is on the bubble. At least to me, he was more on a bubble as of last week. This week he's kind of shown that he can play, and considering that he's he's gonna be a free agent next year, and the Knicks have to make a decision on him, he's someone who can go either way. So that's also someone to look out for. All right, because now he might actually have a little bit of stock now that you've seen him playing well these last 2 games, and he could be a chip, or they can see him as an asset going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I only see him going in a package deal. I don't see, to be honest, the point of trading Frank for like a 2nd-round pick.
Right.
Even just to get something back for him. I'm like, at this point, the way the roster is going, the way the team is going, deep 2nd-round picks aren't going to matter too much anymore. We're going to start trading these a lot more. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, if he leaves, I do think it's him, someone, and maybe someone else.
I agree with you.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be like, we're just trading Frank.
Yeah, like him straight up for JJ Redick to me doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
Like to me, like if you're going to JJ Redick, maybe it's just a straight up second and keep it moving.
Exactly. I mean, like, besides Austin Rivers, like, I can't really see the Knicks making any more moves because I can't see the Knicks, breaking the bank to bring in a superstar type player or a star type player, and I can't see the Knicks, like, just trading away one of their young guys for like a second round pick or whatever the case may be. So I think like the only move is probably Austin Rivers, and everybody's gonna still be here past the trade deadline.
Yeah, especially considering the chemistry is so fragile right now, and I know that people in the beginning of the season, and me included, we were looking at a 3-point shooting, and we're going, we just need more shooting, and that's all we need. And they were looking at Reggie Bullock and going, he needs to go, but Tom loves this kid to the death. And not only that, our 3-point shooting from the last week before All-Star break until now has gone up. We moved up to the 13th place in the league in percentage from the 3-point line. It's been a point of contention to actually put up more shots per game. So I think we're kind of growing from within when it comes to our players as well, and just kind of just working on our shortcomings naturally. So I think it makes it harder for GMs and stuff to make moves. And if we start to slide a little bit more, though, maybe they'll make a move. But I mean, there's a chance for us to, if we take care of business, to still be around 500. We have the 76ers coming up on Sunday, and we have Wizards back to back. So if we take care of business coming into that trade deadline, people might still end up being here. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now I saw someone talk about Knox. Are you saying, do you think Knox is going to be traded, or what do you think about Knox's game in general? I don't think Knox is going to be traded because he's a Kentucky guy, and he has another year on his contract. And like Terry said, unless he's a part of a bigger package, I don't see Knox going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, clearly the coaching staff believes in him. That's why he got the extra year. And I feel like, with, Kenny Payne being there, the Kentucky, the Kentucky Whisperer and things like that, they're going to try to see what they can get out of Knox next season.
Yeah, the Kentucky Whisperer.
Yeah, so I can't, I can't see Knox going anywhere. Like, like Terry said, it got to be like a big package deal where, Knox will be leaving. But if it's just Knox alone, then nah.
Yeah, I'm like, what's the point? What's the point of Knox alone, right? Like, we will only be selling him at lower perceived value. I'm confused about Kevin Knox though, man. Like, if you told me after the first, at the beginning of his first season, that he would be behind Frank in 3 years,
I would have called you crazy.
Wow. Yeah, like I thought, it's an offensive league, right? So I was thinking, like, I mean, I know it's situation. I'm sure Knox could score 10 points a game if he was out there, but I even thought this year and he started the season well, man, and he was hitting those threes. I was so excited when he was like corner 3 Knox.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of died off. I mean, I get it for Tibbs because he's out there and like the team is falling apart when you're out there because of the poor defense. It is what it is. We're trying to win games, but they're gonna give him the offseason. They gotta give him one more offseason to really work with them and make sure he comes back next year.
Now, okay, you guys weren't here the other day, so we had this conversation. But I want to ask you guys, where are you on the Knox for OB conversation? Because OB is getting a lot of heat because he's not producing, but I'm always been a guy who said that yes, he's not producing, but he's not playing the ideal role set for his skill set. He is not a corner OB guy. He's a guy who's supposed to be looked at as the Stoudemire type, pick and roll, be able to pass, make other people's plays around him better, and also a guy who moves it out the ball. And if people don't pass in the ball, you don't really see the value of him moving without the ball so much. Mm-hmm. So how do you feel about swapping out OB's minutes for Knox, knowing that Knox's natural game right now is to be that guy who hits the corner 3? We called him Corner Kev in the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm. You see, it's tough because OB's your first round pick, and he was picked 8th. So to just push him on the bench and not give him no playing time whatsoever for Knox, like, it's going to be tough to do because
Yo, Terry looks sad. Terry looks sad, yo. Terry looks so sad. He's like, right?
You know, like if Obi was a second round pick, then it's like, okay, that's justified. It's gonna take him time to develop. You put him on the bench and you put in Knox that he has more experience. He fits the offense more, or at least that role, etc.
Right.
But the fact that Obi's a first round 8th pick, it's like you gotta play him. Like you can't just relegate him to the bench. You know what I mean? Like that's not gonna look good.
Nah.
Especially to the media and things like that. So, as much as playing Knox and Obi's place would be more beneficial for the Knicks because Knox can actually knock that at corner 3, etc. At the same time, it's like you're in a spot right now where it's like you gotta play Obi. You got to, even if it's like 10 minutes a game, you have to play him.
Yeah, it's like that Jay-Z song. It's like that Jay-Z song, Politics as Usual. I don't know if
exactly.
you old head Jay-Z fans, but it's the politics of the situation. I do kind of think, though, if push comes to shove, I think if we make the playoffs and it's like playoff time, I think Tom is absolutely going to do that. I think Tom's going to be like, screw optics. Kev, hit that 3.
I mean, the thing is, though, to be honest, I feel like if we get to the playoffs, that rotation is going to be so tight that we're going to see 8 guys. We're going to see 9 guys. Yeah, I don't even see how Knox would make it. I think even Frank would be out the rotation then, unless it's like, putting him in or unless he keeps playing well, or it's a defense thing. I think Tim's about to screw that rotation extra tight. It's going to be extra right in there.
Yeah, you're right. He's about to play 5 people the whole game.
He's like, yo, this whole year has actually just been preparation for this. You thought 41 was bad? It's about 38. That's gonna be but yeah, man, listen, Kevin had if you look at it, he had his free time rookie year to play nonstop minutes, right? Obi isn't even getting that, but you got to give Obi his time this year. And I got to see Rose back to really feel like I'm judging Obi at this point.
Yeah, he unlocked him. You're right.
Yeah, he needs Derrick Rose. I think the big thing about Obi, the whole, the debate, the disappointment is really just the pre-draft most ready.
Yeah.
Label.
The label. He's older.
Exactly. I wouldn't care listen, Frank was a project, Knox was a project, right? Even IQ, obviously he's way better than we thought, but it's not someone you're really expecting a ton from. And Mitch was exciting, but you still didn't feel like, oh, he's gonna come in definitely and do this, right?
Right.
You felt like that about RJ, but even RJ, this is crazy. RJ, you knew you had big potential and was, had bigger potential than even someone like Obi. Mm-hmm. But I think the general consensus is Obi was going to come in and maybe have the best rookie year out of any of our recent guys.
Rookie of the year.
Off of age and being comfortable. And listen, maybe that wasn't the case, right? He probably needed the preseason, summer league, the training camp more than IQ. Well, definitely he needed it more than IQ did. So maybe he gets it this summer, comes back better. But it is, you look at our team and how it's broken down. Imagine if Obi was good off the bench giving us 12-6 right now.
Yo.
It would change the game.
It would change everything. You would see Randle's minutes drop down. I would think you would see less turnovers, more shots made in the fourth quarter by Randle. I think that 15 minutes rest is a huge boost because the last 3 or 4 games, you just seen. I think we scored 14 points the game before. We just did not have it in the fourth quarter, and those 10 minutes rest for a guy who's averaging the second most minutes in the NBA, it would be huge. Huge. Yo, salute to the chat, man. Let's get to this chat because y'all buzzing today. We got 131 people in the chat on a Friday.
Shout out to the chat.
Yeah, man. Yeah. No Knicks basketball day. I just here kicking it. So shout out to you guys. Yo, and shout out to all. I know all these weird changes happening with the KOT streams and shout out to everybody who's giving the KOT love, man. Because you don't know how these things are really gonna happen until it happens, and then for people to actually come out and support, I notice it and it's a big deal. So salute to you guys who support the KOT show and all the Knicks content creators, man. Because this thing is a grind for sure. It's a huge grind. All right. But yo, shout out to love. Yeah, man. It's for the love. Yo, shout out to Will from LI. I'm trying to see what you wrote in the super chat. It's in the 399 super chat. Says, "What up, y'all? Just saying, what's up? Salute." Yeah, salute to my guy Will from LI, man. He will always be remembered for the presentation iPad of why Kevin Durant is coming to the Knicks, and he had all these tea trees with reports from me, reports from, and it didn't happen, but it was hilarious. It was so funny. This is why I will not be taken by this Kawhi to the Knicks things. I will not do it. You won't get me. You won't get me. I'm telling you, not this season. But salute to the chat, man. I'm gonna salute everybody in the chat right now. All right. So salute to SK. He says lost minutes because of Alec Burks. All right. Salute to John. Salute to Jean Marc, Jake Long, Junior Karoma, Rick Harrison, Magnum Boom, Rick Pennington, Jay Jean. Again, Rich Jim, GD. I think I saw my boy Rodney in here earlier. Shout out to Rodney, Brooklyn Belly, Will from LI already counted you out. Shouted you out. Everybody in the chat who's rocking with the KOT show, who's rocking with Terry, who's rocking with Ryan, everybody. A salute to you guys, man. You make things work. Wow, you make it fun. You make it fun for everybody in Knicks Nation, man. For real. All right. And if you're new, hit hashtag new. It's Illa. Oh, shout out to Illa, the biggest RJ fan in Canada and maybe the world. Shout out to Illa, man.
RJ Barrett, that retired jersey one day, man. That guy is something else.
Yeah, he's good. That boy good. That boy good. That boy RJ good, man. He put our team on that back when we went down in that first quarter, and he went to the hoop 3 or 4 times in a row and got us back in the game. I was like, yeah, that boy good, man. That's all he needs to do. You can't hold this man. You can't. He's a bully.
Word.
So let's talk about Big Reaper, $20 super chat. Shout out to you, Big Reaper, man. Y'all showing love today, man.
Big Reaper.
That's showing love today, yo. Shout out to Big Reaper for $20 super chat, man. For real. Y'all really gonna help the channel. We need cameras for Ryan because he's making mad fuzzy. so trust me when I tell you these super chats are going to the writers, the channel, to building up everything, man. Raw got to get Raw's camera looking crazy too. You gotta get fixed that. We're gonna fix the sound. So thank you for the super chat. It's gonna help the channel for sure. Not getting Jordans with it. All right. Cool. Yo, and hashtag new, I see you. Hashtag new Lana. I see you with the hashtag new. Hey, yo, power with the hashtag old.
Old.
All right. So let's touch on this, and we'll wrap it up after this topic.
All right.
There has been news that reported that Lonzo Ball, he wants to come to the New York Knicks, and that happened. That news dropped a few days ago. That we are a desired destination, guys, in free agency. And then once CK and all the Hive rejoiced.
CK been on the train, man.
Driving the bus. Shout out to CK. Shout out to CK2K. Once that news was announced, Mark Stein reported that the Clippers, who are interested in Lonzo Ball as well, everybody knows they need a playmaking guard. They're interested in Lonzo Ball, and they are trying to figure out what moves to make to get him here. So, how do you feel about that new news, Terry? I know we was kind of talking about it behind the scenes, so I'll let you get your thoughts off right there.
Yeah. I CK2K, you've done it. You've convinced me. I'm all aboard the Lonzo train. Mm-hmm. He's taken a jump forward this season. It's exactly the kind of move I like to see us make, considering you don't have the big crazy superstars out there, right? Mm-hmm. So I thought Randle was such a good fallback, right? Despite the season he had at first, I think we were all excited when we initially got him. The idea like we're getting a guy who, just off his rookie deal or whatever, he's in his 23, 24. We're getting him in for the best prime, his prime of his career. With Lonzo, you're kind of getting the same thing, right? He's 23. Imagine having that guy for the next few years. That said, the trade now, I wonder what the asking price is. I'm worried it's too high. And I don't know what too high is, because I do want a shot at Lonzo, man. I would be pissed if he got traded now and we got no chance.
That would suck.
That would suck, right? Because I feel like we have money to play with. So in the offseason, I'd love to see us kind of, play a game, see what we can do, work out something interesting. maybe threaten New Orleans. But if he gets traded now, he's getting re-signed wherever he goes. So
Yeah, absolutely, because he's
I
an
mean,
LA kid. He's an LA
he's
kid.
LA kid, and he's LA kid too. Yeah, doubly so. So the question I have too is like, what are you willing to give up for Lonzo Ball? And what are you willing to pay him? That's actually the two.
That's
things
the
I'm-
question.
What do you pay him, and if you want to get him now, what are you giving up? And if you want to pay him, how much is that?
The payment question. The payment question is a little bit easier for me than the give up question. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie, because is he worth a first round? I don't want to give him up for a first. I don't want to give him a first rounder.
All right, so
But
y'all can talk about Lonzo for a minute. I'm gonna come back with my thoughts. I gotta go pick up food. All right.
This guy got one to get DoorDash. All right.
We need that DoorDash sponsor, man.
Yeah, man. Definitely. I got some sponsors about, but we need a DoorDash sponsor. But I will say this. As far as money, they're saying that they wouldn't be willing to match 18 million. And we had Roy on here the other day, and he was saying he's willing to do it. I don't think he's worth 18 million, though. I feel like he's more around like the 15 range to me. You know what I mean? As a guy who's a 3-and-D guy who can set people up, and he's not gonna give you. He's giving like 15 points a game. I can't see. My soul won't sit with 18 to 20 million. And Raw would say he's gonna like everybody else and it's worth it to overpay for him a little bit because he's gonna lock everybody else. And I can see that argument, but my soul is still like, 18 to 20 million for a guy who gives you 15 a game, to me is a little high.
I mean, especially if you consider that IQ is, potentially getting better and better, and that Derrick Rose is here. Derrick Rose is getting re-signed in some capacity. So, you know what I mean? I definitely get it. I have to admit, though, I have been willing to go above that. And the reason being, and I think this might just be the Tibbs effect, I'm watching what Tibbs has done, and I don't want to give him full credit for Randle, because Julius, a lot of that is his own work.
I understand.
But Tibbs has me thinking of guys that I don't like.
That he can
and how
unlock.
much better they
Right.
under Tibbs.
Yeah.
And let me give you a prime example for me is Oladipo, who I really don't want here. I don't trust his injuries. He's inefficient. He shoots a lot. I'm not really, I like Oladipo before, when he had that breakout season. I'm not a big fan of signing him now. But
Me neither.
I've even talked myself into, if they really want him and they make the trade, I see Tibbs' version of Oladipo being so much better than, who he's been. So even for Lonzo, right, I'm like, listen, yeah, Lonzo's not worth, maybe he's not exactly worth 20 million a year right now, right? But if you get him at 20 million scaling up to 23 million a year, you get him on like a 3-year deal with an option.
Man.
You get it on like the Timmy deal, right?
Right.
With a little bit more. And then he actually keeps developing, which by all means he should.
That's-
He's shooting over 40% from
That's your best
previous
argument
year.
for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, there's not that much out there. And I'm looking at the team right now, man. We suffered so much from poor PG play. Lonzo raises our general level so much when he's this part of that rotation. Obviously, he's been injuries too. But I'm like, how much better Julius going to be having a more reliable shooter out there? So yeah, and he plays good defense. He can really pass, and we would finally start playing in transition, which is a big thing for me because we do not play in transition really.
Yeah. Like
Lonzo coming in gets us on the break. I don't know. I see a lot of good things.
Now I agree with you, man. And even like I thought we was turning a corner with pace, because our pace has picked up in the last few games. We had I think we scored 23 points the game before yesterday, and this game we only had 7 points in transition, which was like a big fall off. But you're absolutely right, man. You and Raw for giving him 20 million. I'm still not comfortable. How are you feeling about that, Ryan? I think I'm stuck at 15, man. I'm stuck at 15. But
the thing is that, okay, with Lonzo, you have to think about what he brings. So
you love Ron. Wait. Backstory before you get into it. Ryan G has loved Lonzo ever since KOT's conception. All right, there's audio of us having the back and forth between Darren Fox and Lonzo from 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
I like them from UCLA days.
You loved him from UCLA days, so I already know you about to throw the bag at him. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Let me explain.
Okay.
All right. So you have to figure out. You have to look at what Lonzo brings first and foremost.
Okay.
He's a good defensive point guard, so you already
Facts.
know from that standpoint. Thibs is gonna like him. He's gonna fit into the system from that standpoint on defense.
Right.
He's a point guard that likes to push pace, has good court vision. He's very good at setting up his teammates for easy baskets, which is something that the Knicks do need.
Right. And not in the half court though, but more in the
more
full court.
fast break.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Lonzo has shown throughout the years that he's stepping up every season. So every season he's ticking up in improvement. He's ticking up in production. So, and then his 3-point shot is getting better as well. So it's like, and also he's becoming more aggressive on offense. Like when he first came into the league, the knock against was that he was too passive.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But now he's becoming more aggressive. So when you look at all those things, it's like, well, Lonzo's about 23 right now, 23 or 24?
Mm-hmm.
I think 23. That's
23, right?
Yeah.
So by the time those 4 years are up, say you're going to give him like 20 mil a year, 4 years, 80 mil. By the time those years are up, he's going to be in his prime. He's going to be 27.
Mm-hmm.
And if he continues to tick up, yeah, the 20 mil may not be worth it at the time you sign him to it, but it may be worth it later on down the line if he continues to tick up in production.
It's the Tim
improvement.
It's the Tim Hardaway thinking. Like we signed Tim Hardaway for 18 million, knowing he's worth more. He's really worth 15, and you're hoping that at the time, this is what they were saying. You're hoping he grows into his role, so you can justify paying him that much money.
Yeah, exactly. And my thing is that you also have to look at it this way too. Like there's top point guards coming in a draft. Will the Knicks be able to get a top pick? Now, the way it's looking at the moment, Knicks have 3 first-round picks. The Clippers pick is going to be late. You know that.
Right.
The Knicks pick is going to be a little later as well because the Knicks look like they're going to make the playoffs.
Right.
So the Knicks are not even going to be in the lottery.
Right.
Unfortunately, Dallas has played better, and it looks like the Dallas pick is not going to be in the lottery as well.
Exactly. So those picks are probably going to be around the 19, 20, 21
Exactly.
range. So it's not going to be a top 10 pick
Exactly.
that you're giving for Lonzo.
So it's like we're probably not going to have a chance at Cade Cunningham, Jalen Suggs, or anybody like that. So it's like, why not bring in another young point guard then that is, he's on the rise,
Mm-hmm.
and he's going to be a good fit, and he can get him for years to come, and he fits the trajectory of the team. So, looking at it from that standpoint, I would pay Lonzo the money.
So you would give him the 18 to 20 million.
I would give him the money, yeah.
Woo!
Gonna be more, honestly, I think it could be more than that. We got to see how he ends the season. I mean, the Pelicans also aren't really winning. You know what I mean? So that could be its own thing. The thing is with the picks, by the way, I think it's the Clippers pick is a swap.
Oh, it's a swap?
Yeah, it's a swap. We don't have the extra one. It's basically.
Oh yeah, it is a swap. We're not gonna swap the
Yeah.
Clippers though. Like,
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was probably, yeah. But so my thing is, I actually don't feel bad at all about paying Lonzo. That doesn't actually worry me. I can't see a scenario where Lonzo is so bad, especially just watching him getting better and better every year. I don't see a scenario where he's so bad that it's the worst contract in the league and we're stuck.
Yeah.
And even then, I actually think if you sign Lonzo and in 2 years it's not working, I think the way our team is looking and the players growing around him, you'll be able to trade him and a pick and get something else from someone else.
Maybe if I guess.
Yeah, I just don't see a scenario where Lonzo at 20 million a year, we're like dragged down by a 25-year-old Lonzo in terms of the cap, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it's like the trade to me is more something I'm more debating versus signing him. I'm like, I'm just saying we need PG help. Unless we're not getting lottery luck this year, there aren't really that many great PGs on the market. We get an option to hopefully have something like what Randle did, for us at the power forward position, potentially from the guard spot. Don't forget, Lonzo's a number 2 pick. He was an elite.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's going to be a first. Like,
yeah,
that's happening.
But I'm happy to toss him the bag. I'm serious. Not the max, but if we can get him for, I think his max must be like 25. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think his max is 25.
Yeah, but if you can get him
25.
for anywhere between like 17 to 21, I'm down, man. And even if you can make it like 2 years and a player option, even, you know what I mean? You could do something interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I'm down to do 17. We have 17 in cap right now. We have players coming off the books. You know what it is? It's just building a team at that point because you're going to have Mitch coming off the books in 2 years. You're going to have to figure out what we're going to do with Randle. We're going to have to figure out what we're going to do with RJ. We're going to, all these subsequent decisions. I mean, RJ is a couple of years around. I'm not even going to mention RJ right now. But we have a bunch of, you know what it is, though, too? It's depending on how good we are. Because really what happens is if we're good, if we're good, that's when players start to come here for the cheap. So like if we're in New York, we're making the playoffs. We have Randle. Maybe who knows? Maybe Randle even takes another step. That's scary, right?
Right.
Like maybe we get power forward help. He can save his legs. He's even stronger. The passing gets crisper. He's hitting threes at a higher rate. Then people start to come here cheaper. You start to get those veterans for 1 year for vet minimum. So. Maybe that is the path, but I think about it, man. I think about it as Raw. All y'all saying y'all would do the 20, and I'm just like, man. I think about it. People have changed my mind before. Salute to the chat, man. Salute to the chat. Really good show. I think I'm gonna wrap it up here after I shout the chat and shout out the super chats. Man, y'all going ham today with the super chats. Appreciate it.
Yes. Yeah, most definitely, we appreciate it.
Super appreciate
it. Shout out to the chat.
Shout out to the super chats, man, and the chat, and everybody who supports the KOT show and all the Knicks content creators. Salute you, man. We can't do this without y'all, and it's a crazy fan base. It's a really rabid fan base, and we're happy to be a part of this rabid fan base family for real. All right, but shout out to John Mark who sent a $20 super chat on the sneak. I didn't even see when that dropped in, but shout out to you, John Mark. Also, shout out to you, SK, who sends a $5 super chat. Says, Terry, your mom needs to make it on the KOT show, too. Definitely, Trey needs to be on here.
I'll make it happen.
For sure. We're going to make that happen. We definitely going to make that happen, too. And, and I'm available for some post-game nights, too, so I'll be able to actually hit y'all show as well. So,
yeah, we gonna do something, for sure.
For sure. But salute to the chat as well. Shout out to Fritz Alessandor, who's always rocking with us, man. Shout out to Cody. Cody's been rocking with us for so long. I feel like he might have been I feel like he's been listening to us for like 3 years. But shout out to Cody. Shout out to Abdul Diallo. Shout out to Junior Karoma, Rich Jim, First Lady. First Lady of Sports, welcome. Hold on, first of all. First Lady of Sports, welcome. And I always have to salute the ladies because ladies don't be coming through like that. So any lady who's here who's going to represent for the Knicks fans, I gotta salute you, give it a big shout out. So shout out to the First Lady of Sports, man. Thank you for being here and enjoying the show with us. All right. Also, shout out to my cousin, my fake cousin Winston Ellis. Shout out to you, my guy. I'm glad to see you too as well. Shout out to all the mods. And anybody else in the chat. Nick 'em up. I see you active as well. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Salute to you. I hope you enjoyed the show. All right. And another super chat. Shout out to you, First Lady of Sports. It says, remember when you trade for Lonzo, you have his early bird rights, which will not count against the Knicks cap. See, this is what this. Shout out to First Lady of Sports who's dropping the knowledge too.
Okay, First
dropping
Lady.
the knowledge. Let's go, First Lady of Sports.
I mean, they would be so dope, right? To be able to watch what people bid and then match.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because then you're not betting against yourself. So yeah, shout out to that comment, First Lady of Sports.
Yeah, you know what it is, First Lady of Sports. You're absolutely right, but the I guess the trepidation or the nervousness comes in when you know that the Pelicans and their GM historically takes advantage of people in trades on a regular basis. The Cavs, they benefited from it. Trust me. So when you're talking about what do we give it for Lonzo Ball and you think about who we have to deal with to get him in the building at first, it makes you think like, man, he's going to ask for the house, plus the bricks, plus the builder, plus the land that's built on. Like he's going to ask for it all. So,
and the cement.
And the cement, and the workers and everybody. Like he wants the whole kick and caboodle.
And
so
he's gonna want it done quickly, if you know what I'm saying.
Exactly. And if he wants it done quickly,
bruh,
I just hit the bruh button for you guys who didn't hear me. No. All right. Keep quickly in the building. And that's what really makes me nervous. That makes me nervous more than Payne. You know what I mean? Because if we able to get Lonzo in the building without giving up picks, then you can use those picks for the quote unquote disgruntled star to put us over the head, to put us over that, put us over the edge. You know what I mean? Because we do have an abundance of picks.
Yep. Next year trade deadline is gonna be an interesting one. So I feel like you kind of don't do anything too crazy till then.
Exactly.
But we're in the rise, man. It's all happening. We have such a good path in front of us. I'm like, they can't screw this up.
They can't. Yo, between Worldwide West, hold on, I hit the button.
Shout out to Worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
And I played the Worldwide West drop for Terry and Ryan, who don't know. All right, so shout out to Worldwide West. Shout out to Brock Aller, who told Tom Thibodeau no when he wanted to trade R.J. Barrett. So big, gunshots for that. We still got our guys intact. We have guys here who are big thinkers, who can, think beyond today. So I'm confident that we're going to make the correct moves. And even if I personally don't like it, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt because they've been right more than wrong so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. That's our show, man. I think we've talked about enough. Thank you guys for the super chat. Appreciate it. Going to think of ways to grow the channel. I have ideas on how to grow the channel. I'm excited to test these out to see how if y'all like it or not. I'm excited, and if my tests go correctly, y'all should be excited too. All right, cool. So salute to thanks Terry for coming through. Plug your stuff, talk your stuff. Where can they find you?
You know what it is? At NYK Terry and Trey on Twitter. I've been going ham on Twitter this season. Twitter's been a blast. So I'm tweeting the game. I'm tweeting memes. I'm doing it all. And me and my mom, we do the post game every night. Gonna have some different types of content too coming soon.
That's what's up.
So thanks. Shout out to the chat, man. Friday night here rocking with us.
Yo, chat is
enjoy the
live, man.
weekend. This is such a great season, just even for Knick fandom. We always cool. We're always together. We always know each other. But just like being able to celebrate together this year, just on Twitter, on YouTube, it's been a blast, man. And I'm seeing the support for everyone in the comments.
Man,
the city is lit.
City is
Yes.
lit.
Yes.
It's dope. It's a good feeling, and we're not even that good yet. You know what I mean? So it's great.
Absolutely.
Facts.
Man. I love the buzz of the city. If we can get some playoff action,
Oh man.
Oh, it's going. Oh boy.
Oh, my. Sheesh.
Yo, New York is gonna be on fire.
Sheesh. Oh my gosh, and yeah.
Oh.
Yes, if we hit the playoffs, I'm gonna be excited. Oh, I didn't even do my Manscaped ad. I have to do that too for you guys. I'm sorry.
All right.
But shout out to you. Go ahead, Ryan. I'm gonna shout you out, and then we're gonna do the Manscaped ad real quick, so y'all can laugh at me and my ridiculous script. All right, go ahead.
Alright, so you can find me on Instagram at Sir G is chillin'.
Sir G is chilling.
That's SIR. G is CHILLIN. And you can find me on Twitter at RyanGKOT.
That's right, Ryan G8KO. Shout out to Antoine. So we got Cash. Man, y'all love me. Y'all love me today. I feel overwhelmed. Antoine says, "Cap says support. Oh, just supporting you. Miss you on KFTV. So, salute to you, man. Salute to you for sure, man. Appreciate all the support. Everybody was giving me love. All week, man. Definitely does not go unnoticed, Antoine. All right, cool. And to wrap it up, let's get to the funnies. Let's get to the funnies. All right, Terry, don't laugh at me, okay? Don't laugh at me. All right. All right. Here we go. So as you know, shout out to Manscaped. That is our first sponsor, right? And they done. And shout out to you guys because y'all supported by hitting that KOT code because it's according to Manscaped. So y'all definitely supporting. But shout out to you to the Manscaped, our first sponsor. It says, did you fill out your bracket yet? I know Ryan did, and his bracket is still intact. It says, our sponsors at Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming, want to remind you to do so. The precision-engineered tools of your family jewels will help you turn your Kentucky Wildcat and your pants into a South Carolina. I'm not going to say what they just wrote. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. But you get the idea, all right? If you follow college ball,
Yeah.
I'm gonna just hit the
Bruh.
for them giving me that. I'm not saying that, but it doesn't matter because y'all gonna support anyway and hit that KOT. All right. So Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. We have an exclusive offer for any college basketball fans. It's gonna be 20% off plus free shipping with the code KOT. And as always, Ryan, you know what to do. You also have to get that trimmer 3.0. It's good in the shower. It doesn't nick your pants. Nick your hairs. And it's waterproof. And it comes with an LED light so you can see what's going on. So get that trimmer 3.0 as well. It works out great for you guys. And always, as Ryan says, get the
ball deodorant.
That's right. Best kept secret.
Stay fresh.
Big fresh. And that's no cap. I actually use it. It actually works pretty good. All right.
Yes, it does.
not even separate from this thing. Like it's actually pretty good. All right, cool. All right, that is our show. Terry, you okay?
I'm chilling, bro. I'm
You
chilling.
chilling?
Let's go.
He's good. All right.
Knicks to the playoffs, baby.
Knicks in the playoffs, baby. That is our show. Go KOT. Hit that Manscaped. We'll get out of here. Wait. Oh, I see one more super chat. I'm sorry, JT Reddick. He sends a $4.99 super chat. Says salute to the trio. Give Lonzo the bag. $17 million a year. Half IQ run combo. I'm with that.
Yeah, I'm with it too.
I'm with that. So shout out to you, JT Reddick. I'm glad I caught you super chat so you can be heard. That is our show. We out of here.
Peace.